I'm Chronix from the most extreme wrestling, and this is your WWE Hell in the Cell 2019 review live from Sacramento, California. This took place October 6th, 2019. So let's get into it. They kicked this thing off, Hell in the Cell. They did it right to its namesake by having a Hell in the Cell match right at the beginning with two of the best women's wrestlers WWE has got at this point. They got Sasha Banks taking on Becky Lynch, and it was a very good match to start it off. If you wanted to start off explosive, crazy, all these elements coming together, excitement, you did it right. Becky Lynch, she is defending her women's championship here, but before the match even gets started, the Hell in the Cell isn't all the way down, so they start fighting on the outside, which I didn't understand because normally you have the Hell in the Cell come down, then you go through the door and they lock it. Except in the case where they'll have two people in the ring and then they'll lower the cage down, like when they did Triple H versus The Undertaker. So I guess it just kind of depends on how they're going to do it. Well, this is the way they did it on this match, but not on the second match. So I guess they learned their lesson. I still do not like the red Hell in the Cell. I think it's corny, cheesy. It's not the chain link that you normally see out there in the world. Normally your fences are not painted red, but I guess that's the way they're going to do it. I can't imagine what it actually looks like live. It just seems like you would have like a red haze over the wrestlers. I haven't been to a Hell in the Cell match, so I don't know. I'm just imagining from afar. You would just have this red haze going across. But you could see through the haze even if that was the case, because this thing was brutal. There was a lot of weapons. I'm talking about tables, ladders, and chairs. They brought them all out. But first, they were fighting on the outside, and Becky takes the chain and she hits Sasha right in her tiny little stomach once she gets into the inside, and they bring out all of these weapons. And they have a ladder leaned up on the corner of the Hell in the Cell, and you get these double knees to Becky from Sasha Banks right there, and it looks so brutal. They showed the replay, and I was like, golly, it looks like it hurt. And they were sticking chairs in between the links, and it was just all over the place with this. They're pulling out kendo sticks. I'm thinking, I did not know there was going to be so many weapons. I know it's no disqualification. I know you can do whatever you want in the Hell in the Cell, but dang, they were going nuts with this thing, especially just right out the gate coming with this match. But they suspend a chair in the air in Hell in the Cell, something that I've never seen in my entire life. And that's a good thing because it was fascinating and destructive all at the same time. They got a chair, they put it up against the wall of the Hell in the Cell, and they started sticking kendo sticks, like just sticks hanging it up there so it can't move, it can't manipulate, whatever. Becky Lynch puts Sasha Banks in the chair and then does a drop kick to this thing. People were going crazy. Very innovative spot. And I was like, dang, who came up with that idea? It's a really interesting thing, and it really makes me think what kind of craziness they could do in the future. Because if you could suspend tables and ladders laid down but sticking up in the air, I mean, you can make the Hell in the Cell a very dangerous place. And I probably shouldn't give them any ideas, because these wrestlers, man, they're always trying to top each other, and they're trying to do bigger and better things, and sometimes more violent and destructive things to them and their body and their surroundings, their opponents, whoever might be in the area. So who knows? But it's always awesome to see the creativity that comes out, especially when it comes to title matches, Hell in the Cells. You got to try to do something different. I mean, Hell in the Cell's been around since 1997. And we have seen a lot of things happen in them over the years. And the fact that they're still coming up with stuff is amazing. But they put this table out in the ring. I'm thinking, dang, what are they freaking doing? And Sasha Banks, she starts bringing out chairs. And she brings out chairs and chairs and chairs and chairs. I thought, how many freaking chairs are they going to put in here? How many chairs are under the ring? Well, on this particular occasion, there's about 20 under there. Just, they're all around her, all around her. People are chanting ECW, and why not? But the Bex Sploder onto Sasha Banks, onto the chairs, ouch, and then the disarmor, and still your champion Becky Lynch. So good for Becky Lynch. That was a hard-fought win for her. I thought Sasha Banks looked fine. That was a fine way to come away still alive after the match. They both did great, and congratulations to Becky. But Sasha Banks was on the top of the ramp, being her bad self. But she looked very sad. She had some puppy dog, sad, depressed looking eyes. And I don't know if we were supposed to feel sorry for her, but I kind of felt a little bit sorry for her because she looked so boo-boo faced up there. We move on from that exciting opener to something that is a little less exciting. It is Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan taking on Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. I suppose that they put Daniel Bryan with Roman Reigns so people would like Roman Reigns more. But if that's what they were doing, hey, you've been trying for years. And if people aren't into him now, I don't know if you're going to win those people over. I do like Roman Reigns, but sometimes they try a little too hard, I feel like. And this is one of those occasions where I think, really, you're going to put him with Daniel Bryan? I mean, that doesn't even make logical sense to me why these two people would ever come together in any shape, form, or fashion. But here they are as a tag team. Okay, but the big men, they're out here doing their thing. And there's a big spear on the outside that goes through the announce table. And I said, holy crap, these men are destroying everything here. This match was a way cool down from the opener for sure. But Superman Punch and Roman, he wins. Him and Daniel Bryan, they walk away the victor. And the yes chants, Daniel Bryan's, he's getting people into it. He's like, you know what? You people are going to like Roman Reigns whether you like it or not. So let's all do the yes chant. And then they hug, and I guess that gives more credibility to Roman. I don't know why they try so hard. If this is, in fact, them trying to make people like him, like, he's good. People already are into him, but it's like, I feel like they're trying to make him the most beloved character in WWE, and I don't think that that's something that is going to happen. And not in a way, it could happen organically, but if you try to do stuff like this, I don't think that that's what's going to make it work. Now we got Ali versus Orton. They must really believe in Ali. I like Ali, think he's good, but I also think that there's tons of other guys that could fill that exact same spot that he's in. But lucky for Ali, he's in that spot, and he's in there with somebody like Randy Orton, who is, man, so seasoned at this point. You could almost call him a legend, but that would be weird because he was the legend killer. But Ali, he's not going to be killing this legend in this match. That's for dang sure. But the announce tables have magically kicked out at 2. They recovered. They've rebuilt themselves very quickly. Within one match, they're back together. The crowd, if you just look at them, I was scanning the crowd just thinking, what do people think about this match? And they looked really bored. And I don't think that that's the kind of look that you want. I would hope that people would be like, come on Ali, you can do it, you can win. But I just don't know if they were really that much into it. I didn't see anybody acting like that, is what I'm saying. But Randy Orton, he goes for the RKO, and Ali has a creative counter to it. He just does a handstand. I'm glad that worked, because if Randy Orton would have been holding on any tighter, you would have just spiked your head into the mat. So maybe that's not the best counter, but it worked this time. That's all that counts. But he did not have a counter for that second RKO that he was not suspecting, And now this match is over. Randy Orton wins, and Ali, hey, at least he fought somebody the caliber of Randy Orton. So even though he didn't win, he's on his way up. And if they're giving him people like Orton to work with, I feel like they really believe in Ali. So don't disappoint us, Ali. We're counting on you. But tonight we counted on your shoulders, 1, 2, 3. So better luck next time. I'm going to get this whole speaking thing down eventually. But for now, we got Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They are the women's tag team champions, and they're taking on the Kabuki Express. Why that Carrie's... Oh my gosh, can't speak today. And Asuka, why they're together, I'm not exactly sure. If it's just like their colorful clothing, and that's why. I don't know. I don't really feel like Asuka needs to be in a tag team, but I guess if she wants to help out Zayn, then I mean, okay. I guess I can deal with it. One thing that I can't deal with, however, is their tag team song switching from Kyrie to Asuka and back and forth, just like faded in, faded out. I hate that. I am annoyed when they do the beginning of a song, like they would do RVD's song and then they would go into Kane's song, I think it was, and it was like, way back in the day. And they still do it to this day. But when they're doing it like this, where it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, I hate it. I hate that. Please stop. Give them a completely different song or something. That's just distracting. It sounds like something, oh, there was a mistake, somebody else coming out, oh, they're just switching the thing. I don't like it. Check this out. There was a really weird spotlight on the barricade every once in a while. And I was thinking, what lighting person is screwing this up? And then I realized that, well, in California, their time zone, it probably was still daylight. The sun was going down, and there just happened to be a door that was open, and the light was coming through, but it was shining right there, TV side, bam, right there on the barricade, and was making this really distracting spotlight. And I don't think I was the only one that noticed, because WWE was continuously switching the angle and not showing the hard camera. Might have been a coincidence, but I thought, yeah, they probably were like, hey, distracting light, block it. We don't want to look at that. But green mist from Asuka. I thought, yes, green mist. I would say that Tajiri would be proud of it, but Asuka got more on her face than she got on Nikki Cross's face. So Nikki Cross later had to spread it around her face, which was just weird looking, because I don't know why it didn't come out. It looked like it grazed her forehead. And you know, you never want your forehead grazed, because it's just nothing good typically comes out from that. But the Kabuki Warriors, they use this and they win it with this. So they walk away as the new tag team champions. I was sitting here thinking that the Kabuki Warriors was going to be a short term, not going to last very long, move on to the next thing kind of setup, but well, now they're the tag team champions. They do have the draft coming up, so anything is possible, but I was not expecting them to win. So maybe it's Bliss and Nikki Cross that's going to split up. I mean, it's better to cut it off while people still like it. You know, you don't want to run it into the ground. So I'm sure they would be completely fine on their own. I don't see any reason to continue with Bliss and Cross, but hey, who knows? We'll find out on Raw, won't we? What I want to know, though, is how did the ref not see the green mist? I know the referee's blind and all this, but if he has to look at shoulders, I'm pretty sure he can see faces. And if you have two faces that are completely covered in green, one person's mouth and the other person has green mist in their eyeballs and in their forehead, you think you would notice that. And another thing, if the green mist is so deadly that it's going to knock you down and not be able to get up from the 3 and make you completely incapacitated, wouldn't the referee be in danger of touching the green mist that didn't actually hit Nikki Cross in the face, or the residual green mist that's flying all over the place or getting on the mat? It seems like that would be a big deal. If a wrestler gets knocked out with the green mist, if a referee got it, he might be out for a while. So what if he got it on his hands and then he got it in his eyes? Maybe he should have busted out the gloves. But he didn't do that because he didn't see it. And because he didn't see it, the Kabuki Warriors are the champions. So does this make them bad guys? Kind of seems like it. I guess we'll have to find out. I think it was supposed to be a little more obvious than I interpreted this match as. So we cut to the music of the Kabuki Warriors, and of course it's switching back and forth again. Oh, I just don't like it. I don't like it. Is that okay? Man, you got to watch out for that green mist, though. I'm for real. If I was a referee, I wouldn't want to touch it. I went to Nashville last year, and I heard about their hot chicken. I'm like, what is hot chicken? So I'm enjoying the city. I'm like, holy crap. No one told me Nashville was awesome. I did not know. I had no idea. So, every day I was going and I was checking out all the stuff, and it was really cool. And people said hot chicken. So I went and got some hot chicken. And golly, it was hot. Because you know me, I'm going to get on Yelp and I'm going to find the most hole-in-the-wall place that has been there since the 20s. I don't care where it is. I roll up, I'm in the hood, I don't give a crap. I know if this place has been open since the 20s, it's going to be good. So I get my hot chicken, and it's so hot, I was sweating bullets. And then I was like, all right, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to wash this stuff off because I don't want to get this spice in my eyeballs or nothing. So I go in the bathroom, and I'm washing my hands, I'm scrubbing my fingernails. I'm going crazy in there because I don't want people are beating on the door, and I'm like, hold on one moment. I swear I have not washed my hands that well in a long time. And not that I don't normally wash my hands well, but you know what I'm saying. So I get done, and then I'm thinking, man, I drank so much water because I was sweating so many bullets. I gotta pee. So I went and I peed. And I'm with a coworker, and we get done. We get in the car. I wash my hands again first, of course. And then we get in the car, and I'm like starting to get uncomfortable. And I'm not wanting to tell him that my jewels are on fire. They are burning. And I'm sitting in the car trying to be cool, and I'm like, We finally get to our destination, and I'm like, one moment. And I run into the bathroom, and I'm talking about, I got my junk out on the porcelain, and I am giving that thing an industrial bath. And it was one of those bathrooms where the front door doesn't lock. So I just had to hope no one came in. And I'm just like rinsing and scrubbing and power washing just onto my balls. I survived. But man, that was uncomfortable. And I felt a little numb for a couple hours after that. So if you ever go to Nashville and you go up in the hood and you get some hot chicken, I don't even know what advice to give you. Probably wear those referee gloves. So as we move away from that, the Viking Raiders take with Braun Strowman versus the OC and AJ. AJ looks shocked when he actually finds out that Braun Strowman is the mystery partner of the Viking Raiders. Why? I guess because he's big and he has a beard. So I guess that's why they did that. It was an okay match. It really seemed more throwaway, and that might have just been the way I perceived it because I didn't really care so much about this. I don't know what people's feelings are about the Viking Raiders, but I'm just not super into them yet. So many people have big personalities, they can talk, and they have a lot of things going on for them as far as catchphrases and whatnot. The Viking Raiders just seem like a tag team. So, I don't know. There's way other big man tag teams on Raw and SmackDown. I just feel are way better than them. So, yeah. I don't know about that. But there's a disqualification, and the Viking Raiders, man, they come away. So, after this, they dive on to Anderson and Gallows, and AJ, he tries to fight back, but then he gets those hands as he gets knocked out by Braun Strowman. So, sucks. It's a bad night for the OC at the end of the day, because the Viking Raiders, even though they lost, and Braun Strowman, they stood tall. So, there's that. The Street Profits, they cut a promo because they have to cut a promo. And Tamina, she shows up. R-Truth and Carmella are there. Tamina, she rolls up, and now she's the 24/7 champion. Okay. So this is what they're going to do with the 24/7 title? Like, this is it? Or is this just them having to do something on every show with it? It just seems kind of lazy. Now we got King Corbin taking on Chad Gable. And Chad Gable, he did not become King of the Ring, but Corbin did. And if people didn't dislike Corbin already, he gets on the microphone and starts talking about how he put The Rock in his place. Obvious bullcrap, because we know The Rock completely destroyed him on SmackDown. But he's trying to rub it in people's faces, and he's trying to get people to boo him, but people already boo him. But see, when I see Corbin, if I went to a live show and Corbin came in, I would just go to the bathroom. It's not that I want to see him get beat up or I want to see him made a fool of. I don't care. I don't care. I liked him in NXT, but the Constable thing and the King Corbin, it's just, you're trying too hard. It's like, please hate me. Okay, I don't really hate you because you don't seem genuine or authentic with your chicanery. But if you truly were dislikable and you just were a miserable person, I could probably dislike you and want to see you get beat up. But it just doesn't feel, I don't feel it. I don't feel it with him. I just want to go away. I want him to go away. But Chad Gable, he tries to fight. They're calling him Shorty Gable. I guess that's his nickname. I think it's stupid. I don't like it. Even if Chad Gable wants to be called Shorty, in a body type business, in an athletic business, nobody wants to be called Shorty. If you were the greatest basketball player of all time and they called you Shorty, you probably wouldn't be okay with it. Because it's a demeaning term when it comes to athletics. It just is. So, you got to deal with that. But Corbin, he's all over the offense on this thing. And Chad Gable, he finally starts fighting back, looking big, or looking strong, looking good, rather. He gets the ankle lock. And Corbin, he comes in there with the scepter. He slides out of the ring. He gets out of that ankle lock. He comes in there with the scepter. It looks like it's going to be a disqualification. But it's a quick roll-up type pin. I think it was a roll-up. He pins him very quickly, and Chad Gable, he walks away winning this thing. So, doesn't look like this thing is over yet. Now we have Charlotte Flair versus Bayley, and I was looking forward to this one because these ladies are good. I still don't really understand Bayley's whole gimmick. She's supposed to pretend like she is a role model. Whatever, dude. It's just Bayley with a globe and her being kind of whiny a little bit bratty, but doesn't seem authentic. It doesn't. Once again, I just don't believe her. I don't believe her. She seems too nice. She seems like a nice lady that would be excited to meet a wrestling fan. Like, she doesn't portray that dislikable, it's not working for me. Is it working for you? Because it's not working on this side of the fence here. It's just not. But Tamina, she runs through here. And no, I didn't skip anything. She's running away from R-Truth. This is before the match takes place. And I'm thinking, really? You're going to interrupt a championship match like this? Bayley's the champion. The championship's on the line. And they're going to interrupt this match? I would have been offended if I was Bayley. If there was any point to get upset that something... I don't know. It's just silly. But they're fighting around whatever. So now we actually get into the match, and Bayley, once again, is the dirtiest player in the game because she is cheap shotting all over the place on this thing. At one point, Charlotte gets a bloody mouth. I'm not sure where she got that. I missed that part of it. But she was bleeding a little bit in there. I don't know if she got slapped in the face or she just landed wrong. I don't really know what happened. I have to go back and find that exact spot. I was probably taking notes. That's probably why I didn't see it. But they start fighting on the outside. Big slam on the outside. I said, Golly, Bayley, they're going to hurt you, girl. But Bayley, she goes in there and she tries to pin with her foots on the rope. I'm talking about her whole body. She was almost handstanding at this point. But no. And they start getting back up in this thing, and look, Bayley tried. She really did. She was the champion, and she was fighting hard. But you're in there with Charlotte Flair, and they want to rank up those numbers on her title reign. So check it out. She wins. She gets that figure 8 and makes Bayley tap. Now we have a 10-time women's champion. Well, they're counting NXT titles. Or no, they're counting the Divas titles, the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship. So, yeah, I guess she is 10 times Women's Champion, but not for any particular brand. Divas, Raw, and SmackDown combined. I'm sure by next Hell in the Cell, she'll be a 20-time champion. I don't know if WWE thinks that impresses us, but it doesn't impress me. So moving on, we go in to Baron Corbin, he beats up, he's beating up Chad Gable backstage. So that storyline's obviously not over. Now we go into Seth Rollins versus The Fiend. And this is in a Hell in the Cell. And they start this thing out with red lights. Why red lights? I guess it's mood lighting. I don't really know. They did the same thing with Kane in 1997. So hooray, good for them. There was a reason why they quit doing it with Kane. I don't know if it was because for any particular reason, but there are a lot of reasons. It's harder to see. It's dark. The whole arena's dark. You can't really see where anybody's going. You just have red. It makes it harder to see what's going on. It's distracting to me. It was hurting my eyeballs. I felt like I was trying to watch some kind of 3D thing in 1992. I was not about it. It's just ugly. It's a bad look. They quit doing it with Kane so quickly, but now they're doing it with this guy, The Fiend. Why? I don't know. It's really annoying to me that they're doing that. And you know they're going to quit doing it soon, so why would you just start now? So what is it? He has magical powers so he can make the lights turn red? Or are they just doing that for him for his own personal amusement? I assume it's because he has magical powers. If he has magical powers, then how come they don't start getting lighter when he starts losing? Or is it going to just light up as soon as he loses? We don't know, because he didn't lose this match. He was in this match to the end and he walked away. So at what point do the lights turn light? Because they're normal and then something happens and then they turn red. I assume it's his magical powers. So is he going to be in a 10-man tag match and it's still going to have the power to do it? Is he going to get in the Royal Rumble and then all the lights are going to be red for the duration of him being out there? What is the extent of his red light powers? That's what I want to know. WWE quit doing the red lights because they sucked. And I hope they do it soon again. The Fiend, he gets this huge mallet from outside of the ring, from underneath the ring. I don't know how Sasha Banks did not see this ginormous mallet that was stuffed under the ring when she was pulling out the 50 chairs. But she missed it. Or maybe it was too big for her to pick up, because It looked like it weighed more than her. He pulls out this thing, and it looks like he freaking hit Seth Rollins right in the balls. But I guess he didn't. It just looked like that from my perspective because it was so incredibly large. And they get back in the ring. They're fighting. It was really distracting. I'm sorry. I did not like the red lights. I talked to a couple of my friends, and they were saying, yeah, I liked it. I thought it was cool. It made sense. It fit. And I'm thinking, man, why won't somebody agree with me? I was being all boohoo like Bailey when she lost earlier. She was all, that's something I forgot to mention. She was all like, people were chanting, nah, 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 nah. And people were booing her and making fun of her and being like, you tapped and all this. And she was just like, so I guess she was a pouty loser. At first, she was a sore loser because she was kicking over stuff, but then she was a pouty loser. So that made more sense with her character. I like that. I like that. Oh man, I'm going to choke. I should get a drink. Okay, now as we move on. It was a good match, I'm not going to lie. But the red lights, they were throwing me off, man. They were throwing me off, and I'm not going to lie. But a curb stomp and a curb stomp. And they start doing this thing where they're going to pile things on Bray Wyatt. But first, they do this vicious chair shot. I'm talking about straight chair to face. Boom to Bray Wyatt. And this dude kicks out at 1. I said, no way is the Fiend losing this match. Not that anybody thought he was going to lose this match, but you knew at this particular point that was not going to happen. So he goes out and he gets more stuff. And he gets a ladder. That doesn't do it. He gets more weapons. He's smashing this dude's face. Then he goes out and gets he gets a sledgehammer. And I'm thinking, hammered, smashed face. Boom. They're going to do it. The referee's like, no, Seth, this is not you. This is not that person that you are. You should not do this. But what does he do? He thinks about it because he's a good guy. But then he realizes, boy, he's got to win this match. And he's got to do something important. And he has got to come out with this thing with this championship. Because he can't just lose it right here. His first time going against the Fiend. They got to stretch this thing out. But he wants to remain champion. So he gets this thing. And against the referee's orders, boy, he hits him with that sledgehammer. And although Triple H has done it in the past several times, this causes a disqualification. And I said, what? And then it became very apparent the reason they did this, because they wanted to position this as, oh, he's really hurt bad. Raising the cage, 1 million people come out, they try to save the Fiend, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, man. I don't really buy it. You can't do all these different sledgehammer spots over the years, and then this one is the one that kills a man. Huh? So they do this in disqualification. Is he dead? I don't know. They check on him to make sure he's not. But he gets back up and gets his sister Abigail out on the concrete, out back. Lights are out, boom, whatever. They're doing their typical Fiend ending. Now, I love the Fiend character, but this thing, I don't know. The combination of the red lights being hard to see made it hard for me to kind of focus on what was happening, because I just was like, golly, it's so red. And then the disqualification in a Hell in a Cell match, when earlier in the night we saw all kinds of brutality. People bleeding in multiple matches. And weapons being used, tables, ladders, chairs, everything. Kendo sticks. Then a sledgehammer. Oh, that's too much. That's too much. People booed. People were chanting AEW. And yeah, sure, you could say, well, it's just wrestling fans being wrestling fans. Yeah, but if they really believed in the storyline, if they really were into the match and they were really feeling the characters, the way it was being presented, and it was true and it was right and it worked, nobody's going to be sitting there thinking about chanting some other company's name. If you have something intriguing and truly engaging, you are not going to be thinking about anything else but that. It's like when you watch a good movie and you are sucked into the story. People, obviously, from my perspective, were not sucked into the story if they were chanting another company's name and they were booing something that they probably should have been cheering about how awesome it was. So that was kind of a fail. This pay-per-view, it did have its moments. I really loved the opening women's match, and the Bayley and Charlotte match was pretty good as well. But there was some things that could have worked a lot better here on this show. And I think that this ending is an indication of something that could have been maybe handled a little differently. It's really hard to gauge how fans are going to react at every little thing. So maybe they thought this was going to come off a little better to the live audience and to the people watching at home. But it felt a little discombobulated in its execution. We'll see where it goes from here, whether this storyline will continue to the next pay-per-view, which I most certainly expect it to, and beyond, potentially. But that was Hell in the Cell 2019. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about this. Did you enjoy those red lights? Because I don't know how anyone could. So please, if somebody was like, boy, those red lights were awesome, explain to me why you love them so much. That's what I want to know. But until then, I will catch you guys next time.